Joining us now is Nobel Prize winner Professor Robert Yisrael Aumann. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Tell us about the letter you signed with other professors and doctors in support of the judicial reform.
The letter is very factual and it talks about the revolution, the judicial revolution that was spearheaded by Aaron Barak, the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, about 30 years ago, in the 90s of the last century, which greatly extended the powers of the Supreme Court, and the current effort is to roll back to the situation to what it was before Barak's revolution. Barak's revolution was very quiet, yes. He greatly extended the powers in all kinds of ways. He introduced the concept of reasonableness, yeah, that the Supreme Court, if it thinks that some action of the government or some law of the Knesset is unreasonable, then it can just say it's unreasonable and therefore we strike it down.
And I understand that you yourself heard from Barak that he believes that the judges are the top legislators?
Yes, after a lecturer at the Academy of Sciences said that the court is also a part of the judiciary and also has legislative powers. I asked Barak whether he agrees with this, and he said, yes, absolutely. We are like Chazal, the people who wrote the Talmud, and they also were legislators in that they wrote the laws. After discussion, they wrote the laws in the Talmud, and also they acted as judges in specific cases that came before them to adjudicate those laws. So, in fact, he is right about that our sages, Chazal, the sages of the Talmud, were both legislators and judges. But the only thing is, we don't have a theocracy here in Israel. We don't have we don't have the kind of government that was at the time of the Talmud. We have a democracy, and a democracy, it's the elected officials that make the laws and the judges who adjudicate according to those laws.
Now the protesters are warning against dictatorship, demanding democracy, and you're saying that it's vice versa?
Exactly right, yes, exactly, yeah. Yes, it's vice versa. It's now Rothman and Levine are calling a spade. Yes, they're saying, well, we've had enough of the judiciary meddling in affairs that are in dispute in the Israeli public, ideological matters. The Supreme Court should not decide on ideological matters. The Supreme Court is there in order to judge according to the laws.
Senior officials in the finance ministry are warning that the reform will harm the economy. How do you see this?
The discussion in Israel is very unique because nobody talks about the actual content of the reform, the actual items that are being brought up to legislate and to discuss. Nobody talks about the content of the reform. Everybody's talking about all kinds of results that may happen, but nobody says anything why that would happen as a result of the specific reforms that are being suggested. And I think it's really possible that that in the short term the economy will suffer, but that is not because of the reform. It's because people say that the economy will suffer. Yes. That the economics is very fragile, and when people have to look to the future and to decide whether to invest, and if economists forecast that the economy will go down, then people will not invest, not because of the reform, but because of what they hear from the economists.
So what is your demand from these economists?
You know, the economists are adult people, but I'm saying that when I think that their predictions are irresponsible, and they're based on nothing, yes, and they are irresponsible because the prediction will bring about what they say will happen. Yes, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, a self-fulfilling prophecy. And this may indeed happen, but I think wise investors will wait until the, more or less will wait until they think the economy has hit the bottom, and then they will invest, and there will be a big boom in the economy again, because the prophecies are entirely baseless, and the economy itself is robust, and there is no effect. If there is an effect of the reform on the economy, then it's a positive effect, because the Supreme Court is very activist. It doesn't only strike down laws of the Knesset and decisions of government officials and government ministers. It also strikes down contracts which have been entered into by people, and that I've been saying that for years. An activist court system, an activist judiciary is bad for the economy, and that's what's happening. But that is not that. That's a secondary effect. Actually, I think that people will see that no harm came to the economy, and they will reinvest, and there'll be a big boom. That's what I think.
Nobel Prize winner Professor Robert Yisrael Aumann, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.